High five. Anybody in the chat? Nope, there's nobody in the chat. Nobody is here. Nobody cares. We make the best YouTube content, don't we? What's up, Doug? Guten Morgen. Matthew Gozo. What's up? Unapologetic Farmer, 5x5. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today's brief may be a little bit different. I have a long and well-written brief put together by the Dance Monkeys that, of course, is posted up at Patreon already, pertaining to Trump's cabinet nominations. But kind of the big news of the day is that Joe Biden's administration, I'm not going to say Joe Biden because we all know that it wasn't actually Biden, because that guy's a vegetable who likes to sniff children. But Joe Biden's administration has authorized the use of ATACMS, Army Tactical something, whatever, missile systems, for strikes inside of Russian space, Russian territory. That's what everybody's talking about this morning, and the last 24 hours. And so here's the deal with this. Why do we care? Who cares? Well, we care for a few reasons. Number one, this is a continuation of and an escalation of the conflict in Ukraine. And with Trump being elected, now elected and inaugurated are two very different things. Maybe we'll come back around to that. But with Trump being elected, there appeared to be a winding down of the conflict in Ukraine, special military operation by Russia in Ukraine, which we all know is a proxy war between the United States and Russia, okay? But now, it kind of gives context to me as to why Biden was grinning so widely when Trump met with him in the White House. Yeah. Okay. So now ATACMS are authorized to attack Russian targets inside of Russia. Russia has said that if that occurs, if there are long-range missile strikes or drone strikes, that's the sound of wound care buckets being packed. If there are drone strikes in that area, then or on their territory, then they reserve the right to respond with nuclear weapons, not just on the country that attacked them, but on the country that supplied the munitions as well, aka us. Do I think that we're going to get nuked by Russia? Based upon current indicators, no. No, I don't think we're going to get nuked by Russia currently, subject to change at any moment. Do I think that we're gonna nuke Russia? No, comma, if Putin has laid out, if Putin is believable, if the assessment is Putin should be believed when he says that he will use nuclear weapons, if somebody launches missiles into his territory, and we believe him, then why just launch ATACMS? Right? If the whole point of this is actually to root out evil. All right, 2 words for you: Hiroshima, Nagasaki. So, is the whole thing a bunch of bluster? Maybe. Well, Russian targets haven't been hit by ATACMS yet. Now, there's some question as to whether or not Ukraine can actually utilize those weapons systems on their own without input from the United States for targeting, from the intelligence community as well as the Department of Defense for targeting. Just because they have them doesn't necessarily mean they can use them without us participating, which has been Russia's point all along. Hey, the United States is totally participating in this, so therefore the United States is a viable military target. Yeah, they're correct with that. Good morning, Fluster Cluck. They're correct with that. So, is Biden saying, sure, you can hit targets with ATACMS, and then we're not going to participate? We're not going to provide the targeting data that is required in order for them to use them? I don't know. which gets us to like this whole thing is just a bunch of bluster, conjecture, blah blah blah. We just don't know. I have no idea. I do politically, politically, this is a big FU to Donald Trump. Do I care that this is a big FU to Donald Trump? No, I don't have a political affiliation. I like Trump way more than Kamala, but I also, you know, I don't worship the beast or the system. Okay? Trump is not Messiah, just so we're all on the same page here. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I don't think we're about to get nuked by Russia. I have questions about if Russia's doctrine says that they will retaliate with nuclear weapons for anybody who launches missiles at them, then why aren't we just launching nuclear weapons at Russia? Mutually assured destruction, first strike capability, decapitation strikes, counter strikes, all, you know, all the strategic air command nuclear triad stuff. Which rabbit hole on the rabbit hole is a really good book called Raven Rock that Pastor Joe of Viking Preparedness has been telling his patrons to read. I am one. You should be a patron of Pastor Joe as well. And one of the key takeaways from that book, Raven Rock, concerning continuity of government, is that it is and always has been continuity of government. Good morning, tribesmen. Shalom, brother. No matter how hard the government has tried to put together plans, systems, guidance on how to protect the American citizenry from a nuclear war, none of it, or most of it, never got off the ground. And then the little bit that did, didn't have any staying power. And so the government gave up somewhere around the 70s on trying to protect you and I from nuclear holocaust. And they decided just to protect themselves, and only a small group of themselves. Which means the rest of us are, we're doomed, Bear. No, it goes back to civil defense. And that's what I wanted to bring up. That's the real talking point here when it comes to civil defense is you are on your own. The government is not coming to help you. And this is something that we know from 46 deployments with Grindstone Ministries, including most recently to Hurricane Helene. So where's the value in this conversation? Oh no, Russia could nuke us, or we might nuke them, or they're going to shoot ATACMS missiles over there. What are we supposed to do? What are we going to do, Bear? Man, here's item number 7001 of me telling you to have your poop in a group. To get prepped, be prepped, increase, constantly improve your fighting position, okay? Primary threats. As witnessed, experienced during Hurricane Helene, here's the things that you need to have squared away. You ready? Food, water, electrical generation, communications, and medical. Okay? Food. You need food. You need quick excess calories, whether this, you know, a lot of people trend in the direction of like freeze-dried food, Mountain House, what's that other one? Augustin Farms, My Patriot Supply, Nutrient Survival. I really like the people at Nutrient Survival. It's good stuff. I have some of that in my search and rescue bag that's in the back of my truck because it's looking a little tornado-y in eastern Oklahoma right now. But most of that stuff requires boiled water in order to prepare, or at a minimum, water to prepare. Okay, Brownsville, Texas, on the border. Oh, I'm very familiar with Brownsville, Texas. Yeah, I used to work down at Kingsville Ranch before I knew that wind power was make-believe from a carbon neutrality standpoint and from a power generation standpoint. The King Ranch and Kennedy Ranch, a lot of those giant fan things, I put them up. Highway, is it 70? 70 south from Kingsville? Yep, I know where Brownsville is quite well, but I digress. Now, I will tell you this, the Silver Spur in Kingsville, that's where you want to go if you, or at least it used to be where you want to go if you want to have a nice quiet evening, hanging out with the old cowboys, the real cowboys, not the wannabe cowboys, with actual spurs for riding actual horses, for running actual cattle. That was cool. And the country luau, that's where Kingsville Naval Air Station pilots and college kids would hang out. That was where you went if you wanted to party, the country luau. And So many good bar fights at the Country Lure. I mean, so too many to count. And a couple of epic ones. But I digress. Food, water, electricity, communications, and med. Food. You need expedient, immediate calories, whether this is canned goods or MREs or something you can eat right now while you figure out a game plan. You need approximately, in order for a military-aged male to not lose muscle mass during strenuous activity, you need 3,200 calories per day, or approximately 2 pounds of food. Okay, 2 pounds of food. Not all calories are created equal. Rice to ribeye is going to have way more calories per pound than rice is. Dana, I'm addicted to Chump's beef sticks right now. Yeah, they're awesome. Some of them live in my truck. But you need expedient calories now. Then you need your more long-term stuff. Either way, it's 3,200 calories per person per day for a military-age male engaged in strenuous activity. And I would submit to you that surviving, whether it's a hurricane, a tornado, or a nuclear attack by Russia, is going to be strenuous activity. And that works out to 2 pounds of food per person per day. Okay. The math on this is approximately 750 pounds of food per person per year in your house. So that's your big ugly numbers right there. You need food, and it needs to be sorted into food I can eat right now, food, my short-term food storage, my long-term food storage. So expedient calories like canned goods or MREs. One of the things that was happening in Helene was a lot of people's food was going bad, okay, because no electricity, no refrigeration. So let me explain to you this process. Very basic, but you eat the stuff that's in the fridge first, assuming that you can prepare it, going to backup generations / having a propane stove, knowing how to build a fire, cook on a fire, etc., etc. You eat the food in the fridge first because it's going to go bad first. Now, we've started a ticking clock on the fridge and freezer, okay? So fridge food first, we eat that first. Then we eat freezer food because it's thawing out while this is happening. Bear, I got no way to make chicken nuggets when the power's out. It's like, well, then I would figure out a way to make, here's your homework. How do you make chicken nuggets when the power's out? Okay? Gesundheit. Lauren, over there just sneezing her face off. Jeez Louise. You know why she's sneezing? She's allergic to my bullshit. Okay, so freezer next. Then you cook that freezer food. And a lot of that stuff is like most Americans' freezer food is like throw it in the oven, throw it in the air fryer, throw it in the whatever, okay? Well, you need a way to continue to do that when the power goes out. What about a high altitude EMP? What about it? Yeah, that's a possible threat, but it's not the only threat, nor is it the most likely threat. Me and some homies with rifles can take out power to your state, maybe your region, okay? And how many bad guys and their homies are in this country right now? We'll get to electricity in a minute. Refrigerator food, then freezer food, then pantry food, then long-term food storage, okay? So that's your layered approach there. And I add in field expedient calories with things like MREs, canned goods, peanut butter, of course, extra crunchy in jars, salted peanuts, etc. Stuff, chomps. You can make pemmican. You can have your own, what do you call that? Beef jerky. All that you can stick in your face while you're doing things, while you're getting everything else spun up, so that there's not a hiccup in your ability to consume calories. Because if you do not eat enough food or you don't eat at all, you can go 3 weeks without eating. You ever seen that show Alone? Have anybody ever watched Alone? There's 2 primary reasons that people get kicked off of that show. They get sick or they don't eat enough calories. Why do they get sick? Because they don't eat enough calories. Their immune system starts to suffer, right? 2/3 of casualties in war are our fault. Yeah. Disease and logistics. Food ties into both of those things. And it might take you 3 weeks to die without eating, but the whole point here is not to die. And your physical output just tanks if you don't eat calories, okay? So food, water, all the water from as many sources as possible. If you live in the suburbs and all you can do is stack bottled water in the garage, then do that. Get a rainwater catchment rain barrel on the back of your house. Put up a gutter. Well, my HOA says I can't catch rain. First of all, your HOA can pound sand. Second of all, or in Arizona, it's not allowed to, because a government bureaucrat said you couldn't catch water that fell from the sky that God created. No, that's when you tell somebody to kiss your hairy balls. That's what I would tell them. So catch as much water as you can. If you live out in the country, as many wells as you can get in, as many streams and creeks and ponds and lakes. Literally get a map out and do a map recon of where is the water around me. Because water is not only necessary for sustaining life, it's also necessary for sustaining livestock if you live out in the country, and it can also be a means of transportation. Okay? So creeks, ponds, streams, wells, lakes, artesian springs, cases of water, rain catchment, all of that. You need as much water as possible, and then you need multiple layers to be able to filter and purify it. So again, one of the huge things that we see after a storm is people's inability to boil water, okay? Which again goes back to, I have all this freeze-dried food. Awesome. You need water to prepare it, which is why the 1 gallon per person per day is a bad rule. You need 1 gallon per person per day to drink. You need another gallon of water per person per day for food preparation. You need another gallon of water per person per day. These are all minimums for sponge bathing your body so that you don't get gross and then sick and then die, okay? So 3 gallons of water per person per day. Well, that's a lot of water. Yep, yeah it is. It's a lot of water. All right? Now you have a target you can hit. Well, there's 5 people in my house. That's 15 gallons of water per person per day. That's 450 gallons per month. Okay, that's 2 IBC totes. How do I keep 2 IBC totes filled? That's a month's worth of water. All right. And then you need your Sawyer minis. So these are like man portable, stick them in systems. You need your MSR or Catadine. Those pump, hand pump water filters. I have one in a rucksack in my truck right now. And then you need your Berkey filters and maybe a still for reverse osmosis. The more filtration and treatment you can get, the better. Bleach and or bleach tablets. A bleach has a shelf life. After 6 months, it has half the efficacy that it did when you first acquired it. But it doesn't have 0 efficacy, so that's something to remember. So chlorine, electricity. This is a big one. Y'all remember that DOE report, Department of Energy report, white paper in conjunction with the CDC that within 1 year of the grid collapsing, and I've got a Patreon video with an expert on this coming, and I'm a pseudo expert in this because I built a lot of the national power grid. Within 1 year of the grid going down, it's estimated that 90% of Americans would be dead. Why is that? Well, because life stops. Modern life stops. If you're medically dependent upon electricity, you die. Transportation goes away. The ability to get fuel out of the ground goes away. The ability to refine fuel goes away. Communications go away. Law enforcement, EMS, and fire, emergency services, they go away. How many people are going to delete themselves because the situation is so dire? Yeah, that's very believable, okay? It's very believable that 90% of Americans would be dead within a year of the grid going down. And there's myriad ways to take the grid down. Everybody hyper-focuses on high-altitude EMP because it's scary, but it's also complicated and opens up the chance for retaliation. Cyber attacks on the grid are much more likely. Failing infrastructure or exploited failing infrastructure are much more likely, and they leave less of a signature, and they can be performed today. It could literally be happening right now. So you have to wrap your brain around the idea that the grid is going away, which means you need alternate electrification. Small scale wind and solar, very good. Large scale wind and solar utility scale, very bad. But small scale solar, especially, whether this is a solar generator or solar array that you have set up at your house, wonderful. Um, and then maybe you have a propane or a gasoline generator. Cool. Generators are good, but they have a service life. They have a service schedule in order to be able to maintain them, and they do have a sound signature. So things to think about. But electricity predominantly to support refrigeration, maybe a little bit of lighting, maybe recharging of batteries. Batteries are also consumable, including rechargeable batteries. All of our shit's made in China now, or most of our shit's made in China now. What's the service life of something? I mean, we had Grindstone bought somebody a radio, ham radio, in during Hurricane Helene because they had to have it because they were serving as like a communications node, and they had a badass ICOM radio. It probably would have lasted them 30 years at a 10 to 25% duty cycle, but they were at 100% duty cycle, 100% utilization, and it burnt up in a month. Okay, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So what's the duty cycle rating on all this equipment, especially the Chinese-made shit? It's not 100%. It's probably not even 50%, which is why you should pressure test your systems. But electricity goes back to refrigeration. And refrigeration is in large part what has enabled the huge growth of the United States of America from a population standpoint and around the world. One of my favorite graphs is the population of Texas year over year, laid over the top of developments in HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, year over year. They're the same graph. What that data tells me is the better we got at air conditioning, the more people moved to Texas. Okay? So, electricity, and electricity also powers all of your commo, which helps you with intel, which helps you for planning how we're going to approach this situation, which gets us to commo. You need the ability to communicate. You really do. Having your Baofeng UV5R that's not programmed, that you don't know how to use, that you've never used before, you are not going to figure it out. We've seen this from Helene. You're not going to figure it out. You need to know how to use it now. And if you don't know how to use it, I just strongly encourage you to go see Evan at Radio Made Easy. That guy's awesome. He has a heart of gold. He gave away probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment, to say nothing of his time, to people in need during Hurricane Helene. Gave it away. And he knows his stuff. I mean, we have him coming here at Refuge to teach here. And that's not even a plug because the class is sold out already. When's there going to be another one? When we can coordinate schedules. Evan's amazing. And so go see Evan at Radio Made Easy if you need equipment or you need to know how to use it, because you need to know how to use it. You're not going to just figure it out. I personally have eschewed ham radio up until this point because my experience with hams has been many of them are sad hams, old crusty jerks on the radio, or they just rag chew so hard. I don't care about, you had to trim the hooves on the heifer next door and blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. My use case for radios is very different. It's emergency situations. But experiencing Helene, I now know that I need to do better when it comes to ham radio, and I intend to. What's up, weapons junkie? Shalom, bro. So you need commo, and again, 2 is 1, 1 is none on this stuff. And it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to burn your whole paycheck on this, but you need it. And again, how does this all tie into Russia? Right? Well, what if Russia nukes us? Which they could, because Ukraine is now potentially going to launch strikes into Russia using U.S. supplied ATACMS. Okay, so what? And government continuity of government does not intend to affect the civilian populace. In fact, they've done decades of studies on this. There's no way for the government to protect the civilian populace, which means it's all on us. They're not coming to save you. They never come to save you anyway. All right. So commo, you need the ability to communicate, because communication is a huge part of logistics, and logistics is what wins wars. And then there's med. If you're currently diagnosed with something, to the extent that you can, deal with it. If what you're diagnosed with is, eating too many calories and not moving your body enough, you should fix that like today. If being engaged in a thermonuclear war with Russia is the impetus for you to get off of your couch and go for a walk. Today's a great day to do it. JK Ironman, what is up, brother? Shalom, bro. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well, man. I got your hoodie hanging up in the closet. It hasn't been cool enough yet for me to wear it, but bless you, bro. JK Ironman is the shit. Really good dude. Has poured, he'll never tell you this because he doesn't seek fame or fortune, but he's poured a lot into the ministries. Good guy. So, Kamo and then med. Move your body, fix whatever you can fix now. If you're on prescription medications, go to Mexico and get some. Go to Canada and get some extras. Get on one of those Indian websites and pay $2 a bottle instead of $293,000 a bottle. What's up, Stephen McDougal? Shalom. Talk to your doc and get a year's worth of meds. I'm on blood pressure meds. It's stupid. I got diagnosed with high blood pressure at 17. At 17, I could push this building over with my bare hands. It just runs in my family. Both of my parents had high blood pressure. So I also, but I've always looked at it this way. You go buy a Hitachi Traco, it's got a 4,500 PSI hydraulic system in it. But you buy a Caterpillar, it's got a 6,000 PSI hydraulic system in it. It gets a third more work done for every gallon of diesel you put into there. Same. I just have high hydraulic pressure. Good to go. And so and I'll be completely honest with you, because my wife is super crunchy and makes me take all kind of pills and herbs and all that other stuff. The prescription blood pressure medication, meh, don't really need it. So, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to wean yourself off of your prescription meds, but hey Mike, can you come here real quick? Sir. So, this is Mike. You were Doctor of Marines.
Was, yes.
And then paramedic for 28 years?
Yes.
And now you're really big into homeopathy, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what is your homeopathy cert? You just did a thing, right?
I'm a practitioner of homeopathic medicine.
And you have fancy papers that say that?
Yes, sir.
In your experience, can people transition from pharmacology to homeopathy successfully?
100%.
100%. So it's doable.
Absolutely.
That's what I needed to know. Bless you, brother.
Bless you, brother.
Thank you. My point, and this is not that video, but it can be done. So to the extent that you have pre-existing medical conditions, you should mitigate those to the best of your ability. Artorius, Barrett, how do you manage your blood pressure without meds, coming from a fairly in-shape guy with similar issues? There are herbs for this that my wife makes me take. I don't even know what they are. And then the other thing I'll tell you is, all my life I heard from the food pyramid people, the FDA, that salt is bad for people with high blood pressure. I disagree with that 100%. Salt is an electrolyte that your body has to have in order to function, especially neurologically. So I think the wrong kind of salt, iodized table salt, is bad for you, but Himalayan salt, kosher salt, good for you. Cayenne pepper is one of them there, says the Campfire Chef. And the other thing I'll tell you is drink as much freaking water as you possibly can. Drink as much freaking water as you possibly can. I drink a minimum. Everybody who does 75 hard, they're like, it's so hard to drink a gallon of water. I'm like, what? I'm a half a gallon in before I walk out the door of my house in the morning. I just drink tons of water. Good water, not tap water. I agree, Dana. That goes back to filtration, all that stuff, right? So my point is, homeopathy is not, it's not witchcraft. Pharmakia is pharmacology. If you look into the word sorcery in the Bible, its root word is pharmakia, which is where we get pharmacy, pharmaceuticals from, okay? Completely unrelated, but I know some people and love some people who have done a lot of ministry work in Africa, and they deal a lot with demonic obsession, demonic possession. And I asked them one time, why do you think it is that we see so much of that over there, we see less of that here? And my brother's response was, he goes, I think it would be way more prevalent here if we didn't mask it so hard with pharmaceuticals. I was like, damn, that's interesting. Swivelhead medic, bless you. So, med. And then you need the ability to solve problems in the moment, and that comes down to a good first aid kit. Simple as that. Now, this show is brought to you by the creator of the universe, Yahweh, your Elohim, the Lord your God. This company right here, Refuge Medical, where I'm sitting today, and the fine people over at Patreon, patreon.com. And listen, if you're not subscribed, consider, if you want to be subscribed, to make sure that you actually are subscribed. I've been noticing my subscriber count going down, and I don't know if that's because YouTube is unsubscribing people again, or if that's because we had a huge influx of new subscribers due to the Hurricane Helene deployment, and a lot of those new subscribers are figuring out who I actually am, and they don't actually want to be here, which is okay. That's fine. I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. So, in any event, if you want to be subscribed, be subscribed. And welcome to all the noobs. So, we're doing vacuum sealed kits this month. Today is the 18th. You got 13 more days in the month. 5 people are going to win a golden ticket that will allow them to come to training on my dime. Any training you want, if it's up on the training tab at Refuge Medical, you can come here. And so in the month of November, if you buy a vacuum sealed kit, that's going to be a bleeding prevention kit, a desk kit, a kiddo kit, the slick kit, which is an EDC kit. All those kits get you automatically entered in to win free training. The reason for that, you know, like, should we go for a quick walk? You guys want to go for a quick walk? I mean, we're here. We're here. Why not? Want to go for a quick walk? Looking at the chat. All right, here we go. Jimmy Carr says yes. All right, show you how the sausage is made. Lauren, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Media at refugemedical.com.
Should I not have them show me punches?
No. This is Brittany.
Hey.
You look significantly smaller than me on camera. Good job.
White girl can jump.
White girl can jump. Guys are packing kits over here. Field medics, stomps going out. Hunter or Hooter in Torah is learning how to roll gloves. Good job. I'm looking for a vacuum seal kit because I want to be able to explain the why. Give me 1 minute. So this, you guys will probably never see this on camera again, but this is the church drum set right here that I've been setting up. So yeah, Tim, Walnut, where can I get your shirt? This one right here. Combat Iron Apparel Company. Shoot your local pedos. All right, so this is why we're working on vacuum seal kits, because this is the sew shop over here.
Hi.
And they're a little busy. They're a little busy.
We are going.
Carrying it up.
Plate carrying it up.
Yeah.
So, oh, they're stuck to each other because Velcro. The plate carriers are being sewn right now. That's a gorgeous set, says JC Fixer. Heather,
Thank you.
Heather says hi, sew shop.
Hi.
So
Hey, Heather.
we've we're making them stay in their hole and sew. This is all racks of pre-cut stuff getting ready to be sewn over here, and then this is all your Velcro and your webbing and all of that, and then racks of there's one of you out there that is waiting for this right here, multicam Alpine. It's here, we just haven't had a chance to sew it yet. I know, but racks of cloth and all of that. Nice shop there, says Emily. So when I tell you guys, like, we actually make stuff in America and that we make it here, this is what I'm talking about.
Damn
Like,
right.
'cause you're an American, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
You
100%.
sure you're not Chinese? Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that on YouTube.
How many Chinese do you
Oh, yeah, I
know?
don't care.
Oh.
How
Damn
many
it.
Chinese have you seen in overalls?
That's a great point. How many Chinese people do you see in overalls? That's awesome.
That's
No.
100% Americano right
No, this is
I eat apple pie.
so.
there. Right?
Anywho, so because they're slammed to the gills on sewing stuff, not that you can't get sewn goods right now, you can from refugemedical.com. We're pushing both buckets right now. Like, this is one of the bucket lines for wound care buckets, and I got to clean up my mess from the Tama drum set. But like pallets of buckets for wound care buckets and all that. And yeah, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I know. She's gorgeous. Small though. Small compared to my other kit. So, pushing buckets. In fact, I see 2 more pallets of buckets over here by the Refuge training stuff. This is RT's corner over here. Thank you, Mike. And so, more buckets coming in. Play it. I can't right now, Joseph, because it's business hours. But this is a BPK right here. Bleeding prevention kit. They come in basic, intermediate, and advanced. And this advanced kit, man, you put this in a pouch, you have, like, there's your gunshot wound blowout kit, right? Like, it's, what do we got in here? Cat tourniquet, emergency trauma dressing, 2 compressed gauze, 2 pairs of gloves, pair of real EMT shears, Mylar blanket, permanent marker, instruction card, flat duct tape, 2 halo chest seals, Z-fold combat gauze, nasal pharyngeal airway. Boom. Like, this is, or if you need a resupply, like, you have somebody else's pouch and you just need the stuff to go in it, right here. You need to stick, and look, it's not that big. In a backpack, low pro, or in a glove box, or under the seats of the truck, or classrooms, or at church, or whatever. Dude, I like my sign up here? Nobody cares. Work harder. So vacuum seal kits, bleeding prevention kits, good to go. And then like, this is a desk kit, hasn't been vacuum sealed yet, but this is specifically for schools. Okay, this fits in a desk. You can put, it's specifically sized so that this can go in a file cabinet. Fo came up with this, and this has Slishman in it for kiddos. Okay, y'all forbid something bad happens at school with kiddos. Then over here we have more. This is kits and stuff that are ready to go out. Like, we have a black bare minimum right here. I don't want to put people's personal information out, but like, here's a blue bare minimum. Look at that. Talk about a great gift. Look at that. Yeah, desk version for business. That'll work as well. So the blue bare minimum. My wife would never carry a trauma kit. Look at that. That's really cool looking. Belt kits, great for law enforcement officers. Any discounts for teachers? Yeah, contact us via the chat on the website right now, and I'll hook you up with a discount. You can also, if you're on Patreon, use your discount code, and you can use promo code BearNation for free shipping on everything in the store. So these are all orders that are getting ready to get packed and head to shipping as well, while these guys are building stomp bags. Over here, there's a black multicam bare minimum. There's a multicam bare fac getting ready to go out. Multicam SOB. I guess it's a multicam day. A multicam op fac. The op fac is banging. So anyway, yeah, we're still sewing goods. Oh, I see plate carriers getting ready to go right here, getting ready to get shipped out. So, and as our buckets right here on their way to shipping. So we still have some goods, obviously. It's just we have so much sewing to do right now that we're really pushing the vacuum sealed kits. They're incredibly good kits, and you get a chance to win the free training as well. So, so to wrap it up, okay, we might launch ATACMS missiles at Russia, and Russia may respond with nuclear weapons. What are you gonna do about that? What am I gonna do about that? The answer is nothing. There's nothing that I can do about that. There's nothing that you can do about that. Unless you're Putin or Zelensky or Biden watching this currently, which I doubt. But if that's, there's nothing you can do. Aiden Smith, pray. Yeah. When we pray, by the way, you do not pray to talk the Father into your will. You pray to talk you into the Father's will. Okay? What His will is will be done. It's as simple as that. And if you don't think that great nations haven't been judged before, you haven't read the Bible. Great nations have been judged and will continue to be judged. It's just a remnant is always preserved. And that's who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to the remnant. Because the miracle of provision, protection, blessing, okay? Joseph had to store grain. Noah had to build the ark. The Father told them to do it, but they had to do it. And so when you read Matthew 24, and when all these things come to pass, let those who are in Judea flee to the wilderness. Okay, to a place, and then go to Revelation. And the remnant of her seed, the woman's seed, and the dragon was enraged with the remnant of her seed and went to make war with her. And they fled to the wilderness, to a place prepared for them by Yah. How did it get prepared? The same way the ark got built, the same way that the grain got stored. The Father convicted individual people to prepare. And so I'm telling you from my experiences with Grindstone, from my convictions, from my 19 years as an air quote prepper, food, water, electricity, commo, med. Yes, you need a way to project force, 100%. I've shot exactly 0 people and been shot by exactly 0 people deploying with Grindstone 46 times. Given away hundreds, thousands of tons of food and water. Moved hundreds of thousands of tons of debris. Cooked thousands and tens and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of meals. Used the radio thousands of times. Hundreds of medical incidents. You need the ability to project force, but stop idolizing it, putting it up on a pedestal. Maybe if I get this rifle with this can, with this trigger, with this optic, then I'll be able to rule the wasteland. That shit's so gay. That's so gay. Like, I was just at the range yesterday with some of my brothers. Yah help you if you come around us with hate in your heart and there's rifles around. And because of who we are and how we live our life, there's always rifles around. Coincidence? But we're for the preservation of life. Okay, and how do you preserve life? I'm telling you, you need to call on the name of the Most High by the blood of the Lamb, first and foremost. And then it's food, water, electricity, commo, med. That's my takeaway. What?
Sorry.
What was that ringtone?
It wasn't a ringtone, it's a giveaway sound.
It sounded like the opening bar of Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On.
It might have been.
Is that what it is,
I didn't make
Lauren?
it, though. I didn't
Is there
make
something that's
it. I didn't make it.
that's naughty, Lauren?
No. Ew.
Oh, I love it. There's somebody y'all would know who we were in talks with about a strategic partnership that was emailing media at Refuge Medical at one point, being a little playful at one point, used the word naughty in an email, and it just broke Lauren's brain because that's not who she is. So now, whenever I want to get under her skin, I just said, "That's naughty. Stop it." Hey, you're the one that picked Missy Elliott for your ringtone
I didn't
over there.
pick that.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking through assets from a company we're partnering with. They sent that.
Oh, okay. Well, noted for whatever company that is. All right, let's pray real quick, and we'll get about it Monday. Oh, Father, Yah. Father, thank you for allowing us to wake up again today. Father, let your will be done and make us strong enough to accept it, whatever it might be. Please steward your kiddos through whatever ridiculous stuff is going to happen today or in the near future. And Father, let us not be overcome with fear and anxiety, because the evil of the day is sufficient to the day therein. And you are sovereign over all of it, and you are bigger and stronger and better than all of it as well. Father, convict those you need to convict to do the things that you need them to do, and say the things that they need to say, to go out in the world and to be the light. And Father, draw those who love you near to you. And Father, call those who are lost back home again. Father, thank you for such a cool life, a meaningful, purposeful life. Let no weapon formed against us prosper. Let us fear nothing but you. Keep us right in your lap as we go about this life. Guide us. Be our left and right constraints with the word and the word made flesh, that we can walk in such a way that puts a smile on your face. And Father, let us be your hands and feet. In the name of Yeshua Messiah. Amen. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you when I see you. Shalom.